We can't get the benefits of full-time Christianity if we are sitting on the fence, if we are in the limbo. I have the best of both worlds. I have a little thing here on the side and I have this thing on the side. If rapture happens, I'm going up. But if stuff happens in the culture, I'm also having the culture and I'm also having Christ. I have the Word, but I also have the world. Most of my Christians don't even know I'm a Christian. Why? Because I'm a secret CIA. When I live with them, like I am like them. And when I am in church, man, I'll praise me Jesus. I love God. And so sitting on the fence, after a while, your nuts will hurt. It's not in the Bible, but it will hurt. Sitting on the fence means two things. Write this down. Sitting on the fence means two things. It's having enough of the world that you aren't fully living for God. Sitting on the fence means this: having enough of the Lord that you aren't fully enjoying the world. Let me say that again. Say this with me. Say, having enough of the world that you aren't living for God. Having enough of the Lord that you aren't enjoying the world. I want to invite each one of you to make up your mind and either live for God or live for the world, because you are depriving yourself from enjoyment or indulgence of both. Be hot or cold, Jesus says, but please don't be warm, because you are hurting yourself by not getting full benefits of neither of the worlds. You're not fully enjoying the world because you have enough God to make you feel horrible about it. And then you aren't enjoying God because you have enough of the world that God is grieved with. And it's sitting and living on the limbo. It's sitting on the fence. It's being friend. It's trying to keep the best of both worlds and really losing both of them. Joshua 24:14 says, now therefore fear God. Serve Him in sincerity and in truth. Put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the river and in Egypt. Serve the Lord. Have you noticed Joshua didn't say believe in God? He says serve Him. He's not talking about believing in His existence. He's not talking about even trusting in Him for salvation. He's talking about fully serving the Lord. And a lot of us, where we hide today is why we sit on the fence, because we say I believe in God and I attend church. I do give my tithe. But today I'm not asking you to add another day in your schedule to the church's schedule. I'm asking you, jump off of the fence. My desire during the sermon is to electrocute this fence. And everybody who sits on it to either fall on that side or to fall on this one. Either you go into the world, so when you go to hell you know where you went there for. Or you go into the Lord, so you will actually experience the pleasure that is in His presence. Experience the joy that Christianity promises and you keep missing it maybe. You experience the commitment that your friends will see something is different about you. And to be radically committed to God, to be radically fully serving God. Not enough to have a relationship with God, you have to have a reverence for God. It's not enough just to simply flirt with sin, you have to flee sin. But to do that, He says, fear God and serve God. A lot of us, we flirt with sin. Why? Because we lack that fear. We lack that full commitment. We struggle with certain sins that could be completely cut off if we will stop going one way and looking at the other way. If we will stop trying to see that we don't miss neither of the worlds. I want to have this world, but I want to have this one. Man, I don't want to be crazy. My friends will think of me, man, you don't know this, you don't know that, you don't know about the football, you don't know about the Hollywood, you don't know about the scandal. You did not watch the Oprah interview with those two spoiled brats. I'm sorry, the queen and the king. You did not watch that. You're not aware of what's happening in the culture because you are trying to keep both worlds. But God says, I want you to be in my world. I want you to leave behind the other world and go completely and be ignorant and naive of what is happening in that world. Why? Because you are serving and fearing me. Joshua 24:15, the next verse, he says, and if it seems evil to you to serve God, if it's too hard, but God is boring. I don't want to be a religious crazy person. I don't want to be like one of those people that I made fun of. If it seems evil to you to serve God, if it seems evil to you that God demands your night, your morning and your noon, if it seems evil to you that God demands all of you, Joshua gives a solution. Choose for yourself this day whom you will serve. Let me say it again, not whom you will believe, whom you will serve. Choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the river, or the gods of Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, see, you have to understand this. When you as a man make a decision, your house will follow you. When you start following God, I'm not talking about just believing in God, there will be my house. My co-workers, my friends, my colleagues, they will begin to go under the influence of my commitment to God. As for me, somebody say as for me. Come on somebody say a little bit louder to chat it and say as for me. Drop that on YouTube right now. And my house, we will serve. Touch your neighbor and say, not just believe, but serve the Lord. 1 Kings 18:21 in the Message translation says the following. Elijah challenged the people. How long are you going to sit on the fence? If God is real God, follow Him. If it's Baal, if it's Netflix, if it's Amazon Prime, if it's Hollywood, if it's the clubs, if it's being gay, being transgender, if it's being cool, if it's socialism, if it's social media, if it's religion, follow Him. But He says, make up your minds. Nobody said a word. See, Elijah did not have a church like ours. We speak back. We're like, yes, pastor, I agree. Say it again. Nobody said a word. Nobody made a move. Meaning they kept sitting on that fence. He's coming literally, he's trying to electrocute that fence. He says, please guys, jump one way or the other. He says, you can't walk around, still have the temple, still have the priests, still have the rituals. And he says, but one day you're doing it this, the other day you're doing it that. He says, begin to make up your mind. Jump on this side or jump on that side. But please don't live in the limbo. Please don't sit on the fence. Please don't try to get to both worlds. Live either for God or don't live for Him. Because you're depriving yourself from the enjoyment of God when you are trying to get a little bit of the world, and you are depriving yourself from the full indulgence of sin when you're trying to put God in your life. Choose one of them. You may say, well Vlad, a little bit of sin does not destroy my relationship with God. What if you would have a Coke and I spit on it? A little bit of spit. You will never drink from it again. What if you eat your lunch and I come in and I just on accident took some dirt from the yard and just dropped it right in the middle of your salad? You wouldn't say, oh, it's not a lot. I could just isolate that part of my salad and continue to eat. You will never be able to touch it. Some of you will be disgusted by it. See, my dog does not mind if I throw dirt into his food. My wife does. Satan does not mind if you throw a little bit of God into whatever you're doing with him. God does. Yearns jealously. And before you say, well, he just needs to get over himself. Oh, really? What if your husband will do to you what you're doing to God? Would you just simply get over? No. You say, I gave my life to you. Man, I deserve your heart back. I'm entitled to it because of what I gave. Same thing with God. He yearns jealously. My friend, I want to remind each one of you, this is not a condemning message. This is just bringing us all back to the reality, to the basics of Christianity. If we want to have the benefits of full-time Christianity, it cannot come with a part-time dedication.